You're 15 years old when the fever takes your father. One moment he's teaching you how to sharpen his blade collection. The next he's burning up like kindling, muttering about demons in his sleep. By dawn, he's cold as stone. The village priest won't even bless the body. Everyone knows what your father did for a living. Everyone knows what you'll inherit. The tools, the dungeon key, the job that makes grown men cross themselves when they see you coming. Your name is Thomas, and you're about to become the most feared man in the kingdom. Welcome to your life as a medieval torturer. The year is 1347. The Black Death is sweeping across Europe like God's own wrath, and people are desperate for someone to blame. Heretics, witches, Jews, anyone different. They all end up in your dungeon eventually. Lord Edmund's castle sits on a hill overlooking your village, its stone walls thick enough to muffle any sound, including screams. Your first day starts before sunrise. The dungeon master, a grizzled man named Marcus with scars covering his arms like a roadmap of pain, leads you down the spiral stairs. Each step echoes off the wet stones. The air grows colder, thicker, until you can taste the misery seeping from the walls. Iron rings hang from the ceiling. Dark stains paint the floor in patterns you don't want to understand. Marcus stops at a heavy wooden door reinforced with iron bands. "This was your father's domain," he says, his voice rough as gravel. "Now it's yours." The tools are clean. The prisoners are fresh. Lord Edmund expects results by evening. He hands you a leather apron, still stiff with old blood. "Put this on. You'll need it." Inside the chamber, instruments hang from hooks like a butcher's nightmare. The rack dominates the center, its wooden frame polished smooth by countless hands. Thumbscrews gleam in the torchlight. The Iron Maiden stands in the corner, her spikes hungry for flesh. Your father's collection, now yours. Each device has a name, a purpose, a level of agony it can inflict. You learn them all by watching, but using them, that's different. That's crossing a line you can never uncross. Your first prisoner is a woman named Agnes, accused of poisoning the baker's wife with devil's herbs. She's maybe 30, with hollow cheeks and eyes that dart around the chamber like a trapped animal. Her wrists are already raw from the manacles. When she sees you, her face goes white. "Please," she whispers, "I'm innocent. I only gathered herbs for healing, nothing more." Marcus watches from the corner, arms crossed. "Start with the thumb screws," he says. "Work your way up. Lord Edmund wants a confession before supper." Your hands shake as you pick up the metal device. It's heavier than it looks, cold against your palms. Agnes starts sobbing, begging, promising gold she doesn't have, freedom she can't give. You've heard these pleas 1,000 times through the walls of your father's workshop. Now they're directed at you. The thumbscrew tightens with a grinding sound. Agnes gasps, then whimpers, then screams as the metal bites into her flesh. Her knees buckle, but the chains hold her upright. Blood seeps between her fingers. "I didn't do it," she sobs. "Please, I have children." 3 little ones. You pause, the screw halfway tightened. Something twists in your stomach. Not hunger, but its opposite. Marcus steps forward. "Keep going, boy. She'll confess soon enough. They always do." But what if she's telling the truth? What if you're torturing an innocent woman while her children wait at home, wondering why their mother didn't come back from the market? Your father never talked about doubt. He just did his job, collected his coins, and drank himself to sleep every night. The hours crawl by like wounded animals. Agnes confesses to poisoning the baker's wife, then recants, then confesses again when you apply the boot to her feet. By evening, she's admitted to consorting with demons, cursing livestock, and causing the recent crop failures. None of it true, probably, but Lord Edmund has his confession. Justice, as he calls it. You wash her blood from your hands in a bucket of cold water, but the stain goes deeper than skin. Marcus nods approvingly. "Good work for your first day. Tomorrow we have 3 more. A thief, a heretic, and a man who spoke against the king." He hands you a purse heavy with silver coins. Your wages, same as your father earned. The money feels like lead in your pocket as you climb the stairs. Outside, the sun is setting, painting the sky the color of fresh wounds. The village spreads below the castle, smoke rising from chimneys, children playing in the streets. Normal life, untouched by what happens in the depths. Your cottage sits apart from the others, marked by its isolation. Inside, your father's chair waits by the cold fireplace. His clothes still hang from pegs on the wall. His favorite mug sits unwashed on the table. Everything the same, except now, you're the monster everyone fears. Sleep doesn't come easy. Every time you close your eyes, you see Agnes's face. Hear her children's names, whispered between screams. 3 little ones. What will become of them now that their mother burns as a witch? Will they starve? Will they blame you? Will they grow up knowing exactly who destroyed their world? Dawn arrives too soon, bringing another day, another prisoner. The heretic is a young priest who preached that the church had grown corrupt. His crime, telling the truth. His punishment, whatever you decide to inflict. Father Benedict can't be more than 20, with soft hands that have never held anything heavier than a prayer book. When they drag him into the chamber, he doesn't beg. He prays, quietly, steadily, as if God might actually be listening in this place where mercy comes to die. Renounce your heretical teachings, Marcus demands. Admit you serve Satan, not Christ. Benedict meets your eyes, and something passes between you. Understanding, maybe, or recognition. You're both trapped in this stone hell, playing roles neither of you chose. Him as victim, you as executioner. Both of you pawns in Lord Edmund's game of power. The tools wait on their hooks, hungry for flesh. The rack creaks in the drafty air. Somewhere above, the castle goes about its daily business. Servants preparing meals, guards walking their rounds, nobles planning their next cruelty. Your hand reaches for the pincers, then stops. Benedict continues praying, his voice steady as stone. Outside, church bells ring the hour. 6 chimes echoing off the dungeon walls like a countdown. Marcus grows impatient. Get on with it, boy. We have 2 more after this one. But something's different today. Maybe it's the priest's calm acceptance, or Agnes's children haunting your dreams, or the way the silver coins felt like blood money in your pocket. Whatever it is, your hand freezes on the tool's handle. The chamber falls silent except for dripping water and Benedict's whispered prayers. Marcus steps closer, his scarred face twisted with suspicion. What's wrong with you, boy? Your father never hesitated. That's when you hear it. Footsteps on the stairs, heavy boots, multiple sets coming down fast. Lord Edmund's voice echoes off the stones, angry and urgent. Something's happened, something that will change everything. The footsteps stop outside the door. The door bursts open. Lord Edmund storms in, his face flushed with rage, silk robes trailing behind him like a war banner. 2 guards flank him, hands on sword hilts. Behind them lurks Sir Roderick, the king's inquisitor, a man whose reputation makes your father's work look like child's play. Release the priest, Edmund barks. Marcus blinks, confused. My lord. The king's men arrived an hour ago. This one's under royal protection. Some nonsense about church immunity. Edmund's eyes burn with frustration. We have bigger prey now. Sir Roderick steps forward, his pale eyes scanning the chamber like a connoisseur examining fine wine. The plague spreads faster than we anticipated. People grow restless. They need to see justice. His smile is winter cold. Real justice. Public justice. They drag in your new assignment. 3 prisoners chained together like livestock. A merchant accused of hoarding grain while children starve. A miller's wife who supposedly cursed the local well. And an old man, bent with age, whose only crime was speaking Hebrew prayers in his own home during these times when being different means being dead. The townspeople gather in the square tomorrow, Roderick explains, pulling on leather gloves. They hunger for spectacle, blood, someone to blame for their suffering. He picks up one of your father's devices, testing its weight. Your reputation precedes you, young Thomas. They say you have your father's touch for extracting truth. The merchant, a fat man named Willem, starts babbling immediately. I saved grain for my family, nothing more. Times are hard, prices high. Roderick backhands him across the mouth, splitting his lip. Save your words for the confession. We have specific crimes you need to admit to. This isn't about truth anymore. It never really was. It's about giving the mob someone to burn, while the real problems, disease, famine, corruption, rage unchecked. Your father understood this. Maybe that's why he drank so much. The old Jewish man, Isaac, watches you with eyes that have seen too much suffering. He doesn't plead or bargain. He just waits, resigned to whatever comes next. His weathered hands shake slightly, not from fear, but from age and exhaustion. Start with the woman, Marcus suggests. They always break fastest. But Roderick shakes his head. No, start with the old one. Make it slow, make it loud. The guards will spread word of his. Everyone will know we mean business. Your screams through the castle. By morning, stomach churns. Isaac reminds you of the village elder who taught you letters when you were small. The same gentle eyes, the same patient demeanor. Now you're supposed to destroy him piece by piece until he confesses to crimes that exist only in frightened minds. The tools feel heavier today, their metal surfaces reflecting torchlight like accusing eyes. Each instrument whispers promises of agony, techniques your father drilled into your head during long winter evenings. The human body has so many places that can break, so many nerves that can sing with pain. Isaac begins reciting something in Hebrew, his voice soft but steady. A prayer, maybe, or a poem. The words flow like water over stones, beautiful despite the ugly circumstances. Roderick snarls and strikes him again, but the old man continues praying. Make him stop that devil's chanting, Edmund commands. Use whatever you need. You reach for the pincers, their metal jaws designed to grip and tear. Isaac's prayer falters for just a moment when he sees the tool, but then continues. His faith, whatever it is, runs deeper than his fear. The chamber grows quieter except for dripping water and whispered Hebrew. Outside, you can hear the castle waking up, servants starting their day, horses being fed, the normal sounds of life continuing while you prepare to destroy a man's flesh for crimes he never committed. Your hand trembles on the pincers. Marcus notices and frowns. Steady, boy, just like your father taught you. But your father's lessons feel different now. When he demonstrated techniques on dead pigs from the butcher, it seemed like craftsmanship. When he explained pressure points and breaking limits, it sounded like science. Now, facing Isaac's resigned acceptance, it feels like damnation. The old man's prayer reaches a crescendo, his voice rising despite split lips and bruised cheeks. The Hebrew words echo off stone walls, transforming the dungeon into something almost sacred. For a moment, you see past the chains and instruments of torture to something deeper, human dignity refusing to break even in hell's anteroom. Roderick grows impatient. Enough delay. Begin. The pincers grow warm in your grip. Isaac stops praying and looks directly at you, his eyes holding neither hatred nor fear, but something worse, understanding. He knows what you're about to do. He knows you don't want to do it, and he knows you'll do it anyway because that's how this world works. The chamber door swings shut with a hollow clang, sealing you in with your choices. Above, the castle bells begin their morning song, marking time in a world where mercy is luxury and survival means becoming what you despise. Isaac whispers one final word in Hebrew, then falls silent, waiting for your decision to reshape both your souls forever. The word hangs in the air like smoke from a funeral pyre. You lower the pincers, but not from mercy, from something far more dangerous. Footsteps thunder down the corridor outside. Urgent voices echo off stone walls. Something's wrong, something that makes even Sir Roderick's pale eyes widen with concern. The door explodes inward. A messenger, mud-caked and gasping, stumbles into the chamber. His royal colors are torn, his face white as bone. "My lord," he wheezes, dropping to one knee. "The king is dead." The words hit like lightning. Edmund staggers backward. Roderick's hand flies to his sword hilt. Even Marcus, scarred veteran of 1,000 interrogations, goes pale as fresh snow. The old man Isaac watches it all with knowing eyes, as if he's seen kingdoms rise and fall before. "Impossible," Edmund breathes. "King Edward was in London, healthy as an ox." "The plague took him 3 days ago," the messenger gasps. "His son Edward claims the throne, but the barons revolt. Half the realm burns. Civil war spreads faster than the pestilence itself." Your grip tightens on the pincers until your knuckles crack. Everything changes now. Laws, loyalties, punishments, all suspended in the chaos of succession. The prisoners you were torturing for Edmund's justice might be tomorrow's heroes if the wind shifts. Roderick sheathes his sword with deliberate calm. "Release them. All of them." "What?" Marcus sputters. "But the confessions mean nothing if there's no crown to validate them." Roderick's voice cuts like winter wind. "We have bigger concerns than grain hoarding and Hebrew prayers." Edmund paces like a caged wolf, silk robes swishing against stone. "The townspeople still gather tomorrow. They still want blood. What do I tell them?" "Tell them whatever keeps your head attached to your shoulders." Roderick strips off his leather gloves with mechanical precision. "Because if the wrong prince takes power, we're all dead men walking." The messenger struggles to his feet, swaying from exhaustion. "There's more, my lord." Reports from the north. Scottish raiders cross the border. They burn everything in their path. And from the east, French ships spotted off Dover. Everyone smells weakness. Your hands shake as you set down the torture device. Isaac mutters something in Hebrew. Maybe a prayer of thanksgiving, maybe a curse on kingdoms built on suffering. The merchant Willem weeps openly, tears of relief mixing with dried blood on his cheeks. But relief might be premature. You've seen enough chaos to know what comes next. When authority crumbles, people don't suddenly become merciful. They become desperate, and desperate people do terrible things to survive. Marcus unlocks the prisoner's chains with trembling fingers. "What about us?" he asks. "What happens to the torturers when there's no one left to serve?" The question hangs unanswered. In times of war, your skills become more valuable, not less. Every faction needs information. Every army requires confessions from captured enemies. Your father's tools might rust, but they'll never become obsolete. Sir Roderick gathers his papers, official documents that might be worthless by evening. "Pack light," he tells Edmund. "We may need to ride hard and fast, depending on which way the wind blows." Through the narrow dungeon window, you glimpse the first signs of panic spreading through the village below. Smoke rises from hastily lit fires as families burn anything that might implicate them with the wrong side. People scurry through streets like ants from a disturbed hill, clutching possessions, children, hope. Isaac stands slowly, joints creaking like old wood. His eyes find yours across the chamber, and in them you see something that chills your blood. Not gratitude for his release, but pity. Pity for you, trapped forever in this stone hell while he walks free into whatever comes next. The dungeons of dead kings echo with empty screams. he says softly in accented English. But new kings always need fresh dungeons. He's right. You know he's right. Tomorrow you might serve a different lord, extract confessions for different crimes, but the chamber remains. The tools remain. The screams remain, just with different voices providing the chorus. The messenger straightens his torn surcoat. My Lord Edmund, I'm ordered to escort you to London immediately. The prince requires all nobles to declare loyalty within the fortnight. And if I refuse? The messenger's silence answers everything. Edmund turns to you, desperation creeping into his voice. Thomas, you'll maintain the castle while I'm gone. Keep order. Keep the dungeons ready. He presses a heavy purse into your hands. There will be more work soon. There's always more work. The coins feel warm from his sweating palm. Blood money, just like always, but now flavored with the salt of kingdoms dissolving into chaos. You nod because what else can you do? This is your inheritance, your curse, your destiny carved in stone and iron. One by one they file out. Lord, Inquisitor, Messenger, even Marcus with his scarred wisdom. The released prisoners hobble toward freedom, leaving dark stains where their chains once hung. Soon, you're alone in the chamber that defines your existence. The tools wait on their hooks, patient as death itself. The rack creaks in the drafty air. Torchlight flickers across stone walls that have witnessed more agony than any human should see. This is your kingdom, small, terrible, eternal. Outside, church bells begin tolling the death of a king. Each bronze note echoes through castle corridors, through village streets, through the hearts of people who thought they knew what tomorrow would bring. But you know better. You know that change just means new faces on old suffering. Night falls across the realm like a burial shroud. In the distance, you can see fires, not hearth fires, but something wilder. Rebellion, maybe, or just panic consuming whatever it can reach. The wind carries sounds you recognize from years in the dungeon. Screams, but different. These come from outside, from the world above. You climb the spiral stairs toward your cottage, leaving the chamber locked but ready. Tomorrow will bring new prisoners, new confessions, new reasons to use your father's legacy of pain. Different faces, different crimes, same ending carved in scars and broken spirits. At your cottage door, you pause. Inside waits your father's chair, his clothes, his unwashed mug. Remnants of a simpler time when kingdoms felt permanent and justice had clear lines. Now everything blurs into survival and the next commission. The purse of coins grows heavy in your pocket as you step inside. On the table, a new list waits. Names written in Edmund's hasty script before his departure. People who might prove problematic during the transition. People who might need persuasion to accept new authority. Your work never ends, it just changes masters. Outside your window, the first snows of winter begin falling, each flake catching torchlight like tiny stars. Beautiful and cold, covering the world in deceptive purity while darkness spreads beneath. By morning, the village will wake to transformed landscape and uncertain futures. But in the dungeon below the castle, nothing changes. The stones remain, the tools remain, and you remain, keeper of secrets that kingdoms rise and fall trying to bury. A knock echoes through your cottage, 3 sharp raps that make your blood freeze. Too late for social calls, too urgent for casual business. You know that sound. It's the knock that means someone needs your particular services, regardless of dead kings or civil wars. Through the wooden door, a voice calls out, female, desperate, disguised, but familiar. Thomas, I know you're there. I need your help. They're coming for me at dawn, and I have information Lord Edmund would kill for. Information about who really poisoned the king. Your hand freezes on the door latch. Outside, snowflakes swirl in patterns that look almost like reaching fingers, grasping for warmth in a world gone cold. The voice continues, more urgent now. Please. I know what your father taught you about keeping people alive long enough to talk. I need that skill tonight, before they drag me to London and let the new king's torturers have their turn. The latch clicks under your grip, but you don't pull it open yet, because once you do, once you let whoever waits outside into your world of controlled agony, there's no stepping back, no pretending you're just a village craftsman with an unfortunate inheritance. The wind howls through the castle walls, carrying promises of storms to come. Political storms, military storms, the kind that reshape maps and rewrite history books. And somehow, impossibly, you find yourself at the center of it all. The knock comes again, more desperate, more urgent. Your father's tools wait in the chamber below, hungry for purpose in a world where old certainties crumble like autumn leaves. Tomorrow brings new masters, new prisoners, new reasons to perfect the ancient art of extracting truth from unwilling flesh. But tonight someone stands outside your door with secrets that could topple kingdoms or crown new kings. Someone who needs your skills not for justice or confession, but for something far more dangerous. Information that could change everything. Your hand tightens on the latch as another knock echoes through the cottage, each rap counting down to a choice that will define not just your future, but the fate of a kingdom tearing itself apart. The door waits. The choice waits. And outside in the swirling snow, destiny holds its breath. You pull the latch open, and winter rushes in with her. A woman whose face you recognize but wish you didn't. Lady Catherine, Edmund's own wife, her noble silks torn and muddied, her eyes wild with terror and something else. Knowledge. The kind that gets people burned alive in public squares. She stumbles inside, clutching a leather satchel to her chest like it contains the crown jewels. Maybe it does. Maybe it contains something worse. They found the letters, she gasps, ice crystals melting in her hair. The correspondence between my husband and the French court. The payments, the poison recipe. Your blood turns to slush. Edmund didn't just serve the king, he killed him, and his wife has the proof. Hide me until dawn, she begs. Then help me disappear before Roderick returns, before they discover what I know. She opens the satchel, revealing documents sealed with royal wax, vials of strange powders, enough evidence to start wars or end them. Outside, torches flicker through the falling snow. Riders approaching fast, their horses' hooves drumming against frozen ground like a death march. Catherine's time just ran out, and yours might be running out with it. You've spent your life extracting confessions from the innocent. Tonight, you hold the confession that could save a kingdom or damn it forever. The tools in your dungeon wait, but for once, they might serve justice instead of power. The riders draw closer. Their shouts echo off castle walls. In minutes, they'll kick down your door, and you'll face the choice that defines not just your soul, but the soul of a realm drowning in its own blood. Do you protect the woman with secrets that could topple kings, or do you hand her over and keep your head attached to your shoulders? The torches grow brighter, the hoofbeats grow louder, and in your cottage, surrounded by your father's ghosts and your own terrible legacy, you realize that sometimes the torturer becomes the one who decides who lives, who dies, and who gets to write the history books. The door rattles under heavy fists. A voice booms through the wood. Sir Roderick, returned ahead of schedule, hunting for traitors in the night. Time's up. The choice is yours. And the kingdom hangs in the balance.